Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an 18-year-old drowned in Rockcastle River over the weekend. And politicians got more together during the weekend at Fancy Farm.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 6:30 on August 7th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson on this first alert weather day. And Brandon, we just saw the sunrise, and on most days that would be a great, beautiful thing, but not so much today.
Not so much today. So again, we've not seen a whole lot of rain this morning. We were hoping we'd see some rain to stabilize our atmosphere, and that is not the case. So again, just make sure you have a way to get alerts this afternoon in case they are issued, and I'd say there'll be a few. Let's take a look, see what's going on live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. A few little spotty showers down near the Tennessee border, a few little spotty showers up to the north there, some heavier rain across parts of southern Ohio, northeastern Kentucky, but again, most of the rain not. Of course, we go to show the hazard camera, it's not working, but I can tell you, once it comes back online, I'll give it just a second. There's a beautiful sunrise out there this morning, and that is not what we wanted to see. All right, we'll go past it and come back to it a little bit later on. 68 Y, 68 Grundy, 65 rather in Clintwood, and then you see 60s and 70s all the way through the region. It is muggy out there. You step out the door this morning, you're going to notice it's air you can wear. So scattered showers and storms ramp up later today. I thought we might have a few this morning that would save us. Unfortunately, not the case. I think we'll get to about 85 before the rain really gets in here. But again, it's going to be a warm day across our region. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon. Saturday night, we learned of a Pulaski County teen who drowned in Rockcastle River at the B Rock campground. His family says 18-year-old Wyatt Morrissey, a quiet, caring young man, needs to be remembered. Alyssa Williams talked with Somerset Pulaski County Rescue Squad members about the incident and shares some treasured memories from his family.
The family of 18-year-old Wyatt Morrissey says he went to Rockcastle River with his brother and friends, but went out in the water and never resurfaced.
We initially got called out at about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon to a potential drowning. Once units got on scene, we, of course, deployed boats. We had a dive team on scene.
The rescue squad's captain, David Caldwell, says multiple agencies came together to help search for and recover Morrissey.
Bald Rock Fire Department, London Laurel Rescue Squad also deployed boats. Just an all-around good turnout with manpower and different agencies responding together.
The Somerset Pulaski County Rescue Squad says this is an ongoing investigation that is being handled by Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
I mean, it's always difficult when you've got family still there. You've got a job to do, and you try to be as professional, but you got to get the job done, and it's just the main reason why we do what we do.
Morrissey's family says he had plans of going to basic training for the U.S. Navy later this month. A man is dead after crashing his car in Boyd County Saturday. The Boyd County coroner identified him as 51-year-old Marvin Hogston. The coroner says Hogston's car ran off Keyser Creek Road in Ashland and crossed into a creek. He says the car landed on its side in a culvert tunnel, trapping Hogston inside. Rescue crews tried to get him out, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. One man is dead following a UTV crash in BREATHITT County. The crash happened at approximately 4 p.m. on Saturday. Kentucky State Police say Kenneth White, 66 of Lost Creek, lost control of a side-by-side and struck a tree. White was transported to Kentucky River Medical Center where he later died. His body was taken to the medical examiner's office for autopsy and toxicology. Police say no seat belts or helmets were worn at the time of the crash. Kentucky State Police is investigating. Crews battled a Friday night fire in Pulaski County. The Burnside Fire Department responded to a fire that broke out at the old Tri-County Flea Market, also known as the Barn. Fire crews along with Somerset Pulaski County Special Response were on the scene for 6 hours putting out the blaze. According to the Commonwealth Journal, South US 27 was closed for several hours due to the fire. Chief James Martin told the paper no one was injured in the incident. Kentucky State Police are investigating a deadly crash. KSP says they received a call from the Whitley County Sheriff's Office Saturday afternoon regarding a two-vehicle deadly crash. Police say it happened at the intersection of US 25 West and Falls Creek Road. Their early investigation shows Charles Robinson pulled out onto US 25 when Sandy Harp, who was traveling south, hit him. A passenger in one of the cars, Florence Neal, died at the scene. Harp and two others were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A federal grand jury has indicted a Lexington woman who is accused of lying to get COVID relief money to shop with. The federal indictment alleges 22-year-old Sandy Bell Fierro made up a company and used it to apply for a small business loan. She claimed the business had 17 employees and made $197,000 a year before the pandemic. The indictment says she used the loan for personal purchases, including a $24,000 car. The most serious charge in the indictment is wire fraud. If she's convicted, she could face up to 20 years in prison. Garrett County was the epicenter of a 2.6 magnitude earthquake early Friday morning. The National Weather Service said it's unlikely to feel a quake of such a low magnitude. The event was captured by the seismic network operated by the Kentucky Geological Survey at UK. Leaders of the program say this was the third recorded earthquake in the Garrett County area dating back to the 1800s. This quake also ties for the third largest in the state so far this year.
The size of this earthquake is very typical of earthquakes that happen in this part of Kentucky. And in the sense that you said that, every earthquake that happens in this part of Kentucky indicates a new fault that we didn't know about.
The largest quake so far this year was in May, a magnitude 3.3 south of Owensboro. Thousands of people were in a small western Kentucky town for spicy barbecue and even hotter political speeches Saturday. The annual St. Jerome picnic at Fancy Farm attracted thousands of people. The nationally watched and hotly contested governor's race was the big draw for this year's event. WYMT's Phil Pendleton takes us to the unique Kentucky event.
Hey. Political theater, where you do not have to be on the stage to be part of the show.
You're free now. Yeah, we're free. Yeah. I'm ready to roam the street.
The crowd is just as loud, if not louder, than the people speaking or shouting from the stage.
This governor lies more than a Hunter Biden tax return. You see a contrast. This race is the difference between vision and division.
Nationally watched governor's race pitting a popular Democratic governor against a Republican challenger in a red state.
Andy Beshear locked the schools and threw open the jails. He sent the state police after Christians on Easter Sunday. They're trying to pit us against each other, calling everybody names who disagrees with them, telling you it's okay to yell at, even hate your fellow Kentuckians. I'm ready to prove that's a losing strategy in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
The zingers, the one-liners, the barbs, all a part of what happens on the first Saturday in August, but you would not have Fancy Farm without the food. 19,000 pounds of pork and mutton slow-cooked for 18 hours that served up to people who traveled far and wide. Some who weren't as interested in the stump speaking.
I'm not much of a political man. I'm like Alan Jackson. I don't know the difference between Iraq and Iran.
Many did come for the politics, including Mitch McConnell, who recently had a health scare in Washington and was quick to say a few one-liners of his own.
The shutdown governor in charge, I'm sure state troopers are just glad to be on church property without having to tag license plates.
Whether it's food, bingo, or barbecue, everyone wants to get in on the act that is Fancy Farm. In Graves County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
This was the 143rd annual picnic. Its beginning purpose is to raise money for the local Catholic Church parish. The BREATHITT County Public Library won an award for defying the odds. The award was given by Library Journal and Gell Libraries. The library is the first ever recipient. Executive Director Stephen Bowling says this would not be possible without the support from the community. He adds they are happy to know they are doing good work for the community.
Someone nominated us. We're not sure exactly who. We appreciate whoever it was, but they announced the award, and it was basically based upon our service during the times of the flood, but also during COVID-19. And that's what we were happy to do. We serve our community in all kinds of needs in every imaginable way, because that is what we are. We are a community-funded, we are a publicly funded agency that's here to serve the community.
Bowling says although this award is a sign they are doing things right for the community, they will continue working with and for the people of BREATHITT County. He says this would not be possible without the love and support for the community. Wilt Week is officially in the books in Louisville, and thanks to the community's collective generosity, the family of Nick Wilt now has some extra funds to support Officer Wilt during his recovery. Members of the Wilt family received a check for all of the donations collected throughout the week. This week's event concluded in St. Matthews at the Potato Festival, where Wilt's aunt and uncle accepted the check, totaling the week's donations on behalf of the family, creating a moment words can't describe. $170,000 was raised, generosity the family says they're incredibly grateful for.
Overwhelming. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's unbelievable. Just that this community has come together and done all the things they have done. People that don't even know him, you know, it's really made this process a little brighter and easier.
For the family of Nick Wilt, these donations go towards the next chapter of their lives, ones they say they will attack head-on because they're all Wilt strong.
.641 here on this Monday morning. We're still tracking not much of anything on live pinpoint Doppler radar. Some rain to our north, a little bit of spotty shower activity fizzling out to our south. So again, we were hoping for some early morning rain to kind of damp down things a little bit later on. There's the hazard camera outside the studio. Some sunshine, a few clouds out there UVA-wise, kind of showing a similar situation. So not a good scene. Sunshine today, not our friend. Temperatures across the region, 60s and 70s. Of course, Southwest Virginia always a little bit cooler. Manchester, the outlier in eastern Kentucky, but you see everybody mid to upper 70s out there this morning. So again, the headlines, it is a first alert weather day. We're going to see all modes of severe weather possible between noon and 6 this afternoon. And again, you need to stay weather aware and have a way to get those alerts quickly if they're issued. Olivia?
Thanks, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Some students are receiving what many adults dreamed for as a kid, a 4-day school week.